Good evening, guys. Welcome to the 11th session of Coding Studio Saturdays. So far, it's been an amazing 10 sessions, and therefore we have explored so many topics, starting from the basics of C++ to STL, and we even started exploring some algorithms recently, right? So we've so far covered the basic searching and sorting techniques. We've covered binary search, we covered linear search, we covered bubble sort and selection sort. So today we'll be exploring another popular sorting algorithm, which is much more efficient than selection sort and bubble sort. So we'll be looking at merge sort today, and we'll see why it is very efficient, and we'll also implement it in C++ from scratch. So yeah, that's what we have today. Um, so the core concept behind merge sort is a, a technique called divide and conquer. So divide and conquer is a problem solving strategy. There are a lot of strategies to solve problems in computer science, and divide and conquer is one of them. So there are other ways, like there is backtracking, there is branch and bound, there is dynamic programming. There's a lot of these different techniques, and merge sort comes under the divide and conquer strategy. So we'll first talk about what divide and conquer is, and then we'll move on to how merge sort relates to it. So okay, let me start with a simple question. If you were to build the Burj Khalifa today, and you had all the resources to do it, like you had the money to do it, you have the land, you have the labor and everything, but how would you actually start building it? Let's say you finish the plan. Now, how would you build Burj Khalifa? So okay, let's. So what comes to my mind is, like, if you think of anything huge, any huge project, you will break it up into smaller parts, right? If you want to build the Burj Khalifa, you won't, like, you cannot really build the whole thing at once. You'll have to make its parts. Like, first you'll make the internal structure, like the supporting foundation and all that, and then you'll plan out all the floors and how the structure for those floors looks like. And there's a lot of things for something like the Burj Khalifa. Like, it's so huge that even aerodynamics play a role in it. Like, there are winds which can shake the whole building. So if you want to avoid that, then you have to plan that as well. So you break the huge problem into smaller problems which you can solve easily. You may not be able to solve the entire problem, but what you can do is break it down into smaller problems which you can solve, and then take the small solutions and merge them into a bigger solution which actually solves the original problem. So you divide the building into smaller parts which you can easily build, and then join those parts, right? uh, so this is true for any problem that you think is unsolvable or quite huge. So divide and conquer is this. Divide and conquer is an approach to solving a problem. We divide a large problem into similar but smaller problems, which can easily be solved, and then combine the solutions to get the actual solution. So uh, what we do is, we have a huge problem. What we now do is we divide it into smaller parts, but these smaller parts are similar to the original problem. So, but the thing is that these smaller parts are easily solvable. So now we solve these small parts, we join them, and we form the solution to the original problem. So that is the divide and conquer strategy. So here is an example for you where we might use divide and conquer, and this is exactly the problem that we'll be tackling today. So all of us know the problem of sorting, right? The sorting problem is simple. Given a list of elements, which can be anything, numbers, names, anything. Let's take numbers for example. Given a list of numbers, sort them in ascending or descending order. Okay, so that is the sorting problem, and there are multiple ways of doing it, and we have already explored two of them: the bubble sort technique and the selection sort technique. in the last session. And today we'll be looking at merge sort. So turns out that you can sort an array, a list of elements is what I mean, using the divide and conquer approach. So what you do is, uh, let's say you have this array, the one at the top, 6, 5, 12, 10, 9, comma 9 and 1. So you have 6 elements. Now how do you sort them? So what we do is, we break the big array into two parts, 6, 5, 12, 10, 9, 1. So we broke 6 elements into two groups, 3 elements each. And then we do the same to those groups. So we now break 6, 5 and 12 into two parts. 6, 5 and 6 is one group, 5 and 12 are another group. Uh, since there are 3 elements here, we cannot evenly divide them. So we have to have one extra element in one of the groups. So that's why we have 6 here and 5 and 12 here. And similarly on the right side, 10, 9, 1 will be split into two groups, 10 and 9 comma 1 as another group. 10 is one group and 9 comma 1 is another group. So now again we do the same thing until we have single elements in each group. So we keep dividing until each group, I mean each subgroup, has only one element in it. So 6 is already a single element, so we keep it as it is. But now 5 and 12 are two elements, so we divide it again. So now 5 is one group and 12 is another group. 10 is already single, so we keep it the same. 9 comma 1 is another group, so we split it into two. So now if you look at this level, the fourth level, so the first level would be the original array, this is the second level, the third level, and the fourth level. So in the fourth level, you see that all the elements are separated into individual groups. And now here is the magic of merge sort. So far in the divide and conquer strategy, what we have done is dividing the problem. So we have divided the problem until it is so small that we can easily solve it. So what is small in this case? So we all know, like, how to sort two elements. It's very easy to sort two elements, right? Okay, forget two elements. How do you sort one element? Like if I have an array of one element, and that element is 5. Let's say I have an array and it has one element 5. So if I sort that array, what will I get? Like, what will be the new array? Type it in the chat box. If I have an array consisting of one element, uh, and it has and the element is 5, then what will be the sorted array? Yeah, it will be 5. Exactly. uh, Guys are sending me direct messages, that's awesome, but feel free to post it out to everyone, like even others can read it. But okay, I won't restrict you. If you want to send DMs, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, you're correct. So sorting one element is the same element, right? Like sorting doesn't make sense there. So we can solve that problem. Now how about two elements? Like, how would you sort two elements? Let's say I have an array 5 comma 10, or okay, forget 5 comma 10, let's say 13 comma 15, or 56 comma 45, anything. So how would you sort two elements? Type it in the chat. Take two elements, just two elements. How would you sort them? Two elements are divided into individual groups. Okay, next. Okay, Satvik, what comes next? The first step you said, that is right. Okay, then we combine, right? But how do you combine? If you have two elements, how do you combine them? They are not sorted. So let's say I have 56 comma 45. I want to arrange them in ascending order. I can just compare those two elements and interchange them, right? That's a simple problem. Yeah, you just swap it. Exactly. So that's right. Correct, Rishvik, Satvik. So we swap the elements, and that's an easy problem to solve. So that's what we do here. Once we divide all the entire array into subgroups such that each group has single element, now we can combine them, and this is where the combine part starts. So what we do is, we take two elements, and we since there are six elements here, it's not really possible to take two. We'll have to leave some of them here. So let's leave 6 here and let's take 5 and 12. So if you sort 5 and 12, what do you get? You get 5 comma 12. And let's keep 10 as it is. And next take 9 and 1. If you sort 9 and 1, you get 1 comma 9. Okay. Okay, that problem is easy. So you moved on to the fifth level now. Now again combine these. How do you combine 6, 5 and 12? So this is where the magic of merge sort is. So the the core concept behind merge sort is an algorithm called merge. So we have this algorithm called the merge algorithm. What it does is it takes two sorted parts and combines them. So if you look at this left part in the fifth level. In the fifth level, we have 6 as one group, 5 and 12 as another group. Now 6 is an individual element, so it's already sorted. 5 and 12 are also already sorted. How do we combine these both? So we use the merge algorithm here, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. And when you merge these both, you get 5, 6 and 12. And similarly, on the right side, 10, 1 and 9 are merged into 1, 9 and 10. And again, uh, since you have these both, now it is time to merge them again. So you have so you finally get this sorted array 1, 5, 6, 9, 10, and 12. So I gave you a rough idea of how merge sort works. I mean, this is still conceptual, right? It's still in your head. It's not like you can't really like if I just gave you the idea, but can you really implement it? Not yet. I wouldn't be able to. So we'll need to look at some more details here, like how merge works and how do you actually perform the division and all. So let's look at that. So a reminder for you, like there are three steps in divide and conquer. Like divide and conquer should actually be called divide, conquer, and combine. But the authors, whoever wrote the first textbooks, they chose to just call it divide and conquer. So we'll just go with it. So we have divide, conquer, and combine. Those are the three steps of a divide and conquer strategy. So um, here is a little bit of pseudocode for you. So any divide and conquer problem, like forget merge sort, there are a lot of problems which can be solved using the divide and conquer strategy. And it just happens that merge sort is one of them. And you'll see that all these problems, the solutions to all these problems follows the same template. That is, the solutions look similar to this code that you see here. This is not actual code. This is just a piece of template. I mean, it's a template that you'll see, like it's a pattern that you see repeating among all divide and conquer problems. So think of divide and conquer as a function. Think of it as a function which takes in an input a, I, and j. Okay, so here in what you see here in this code, I assume that a is an array or any input which is big. Maybe it's a array or maybe it's a set or whatever. It's an input, and I and j are its limits. So I is the lower limit and j is the upper limit, like the boundaries of that element. I mean, the boundaries of that array are I and j. So that those are the inputs to a divide and conquer function. Okay, so far is everyone with me here? Just put say yes in the chat box. Like so far, is everything clear? Is anything confusing you? Okay, awesome. So we have this template, which is taking an input and it's taking the boundaries of that input. Why are we taking the boundaries? It will become clear very soon. So the first thing is in divide and conquer, the first thing that you should check is I gave you a problem. You chose to solve it with divide and conquer, but uh, do you actually have to divide this problem? that is the first thing you need to check. uh, it could be that the problem is already small and you can solve it directly, okay, without dividing and conquering it. Maybe it's already solvable, so you need to check if the problem is already small. Okay, so in case of merge sort, if there is only one element in the array, then that means it is already sorted, right? It's already a small problem which is solved. So that is the first thing that you have to check, so that you don't have to put in any work now. So that is the first thing we check. If the problem is already small, so we have an imaginary function called is small. Okay, it's just an imaginary function, it's not a real function. uh, it is the way that the template works. Okay, so we check if that problem is already small. If it is small, then simply return the solution. Okay, solution is another function, an imaginary function, which basically solves small problems. Okay, for example, for the sorting problem, if you only have one array, then I mean only one element in the array, then the solution will be to simply return that element, do nothing else. Okay, so that will be the solution. That is what the solution function does. And is small function would be checking the size of the array. So if the size is 1, then e small will return true for merge sort, and solution will simply return the array that we already have. So that is the if condition that you first check. If that is not the case, if the problem is not small, then what do you do now? Now is the time to divide it and conquer it. So what we do now is, uh, we have a problem, we have the input which whose boundaries are I and j. It starts at I, ends at j. So now we divide it into two parts. So for that, what we need to do is find the middle, right? We find the middle using I plus j by 2. So mid is the middle point. How do you get it? You just say I plus j by 2. Simple maths, right? So now what you do is, you use, you found the mid. Now it's time to conquer it. How do you conquer it? Maybe the two parts that you divided are still large. Okay, maybe they're still not small enough. So what do? You have to divide them further. But uh, you have to realize one point. I gave you an array. Okay, you divided it into two parts. Now what are these two parts again? Think about this for a second. Type your answers in the chat box. I gave you an array. You chose to sort it and use the divide and conquer strategy. You divided the first original array into two parts. Now, what are these two parts again? Type in the chat, guys. What can I call these two parts again? Yeah, Satvik, that you're talking about something different, but I want the answer for what do you think the two parts are like. I gave you an array, you divided into two parts. What are those two parts called? Exactly, Rishwat, right. So those are arrays as well. So I gave you a big problem, you split it into smaller problems, and but those are problems too, right? They are not the solutions directly. So those need to be solved as well recursively. Uh, we'll talk about recursion later, but the idea is this. I gave you an array, you split it into two parts. Now what you do is solve the left part and solve the right part. Okay, think that there is an imaginary function which can solve the left part and right part. So you pass the left part to the imaginary function and the right part also to the imaginary function. In this template, we are calling that imaginary function as divide and conquer. Okay, so the left part would be I to mid, the right part would be mid plus 1 to j. Okay, so that is the left part and this is the right part. And that is the two, those are the two lines here. So you solve the left problem and you solve the right problem. So now after you solve, sorry, yeah, After you solve the left and right problems, what do you have to do now? Now both your left and right problems are solved. Now what is the time for you to do? Like what do you have to do now after your left and right problems are solved? Exactly, right. You have to combine them. So that is the third step. Combine the two parts. That is I to mid is the left part, mid plus 1 to j is the right part. So combine those two halves to get the final solution. Okay. Now there is one important thing that you have to notice here. Divide and conquer is the original name of the function, and I'm calling divide and conquer inside itself. Okay. This pattern is called recursion. So what recursion means is, if you don't already know, uh, recursion means you call the same function within itself. For example, if there is a function called a, if there is a function called a, then if you make a function called to a itself inside the body, then that will be called recursion. Okay, recursion is a method of solving problems. There's a lot of uh, ways of doing problem solving, right? So recursion is one of them. So the core advantage of recursion is it makes writing the code easier. Like sorting an array uh, uh, through divide and conquer, what you're doing is you're dividing into two parts, and you're sorting the left part and right part. Now what do? You combine them. Now how is that sorting happening? Like how is the left part getting sorted and how is the right part getting sorted? We'll see now. We'll see. I know that question is still there. So that is the magic of recursion. You can forget what the details are and simply focus on what the main problem is. Okay, now let's move ahead or you'll be too confused. So let's look at merge sort now. So step 1 of merge sort is divide the unsorted array into two parts, sort the left half and sort the right half. How are you sorting? We will see when we implement it. And after you sort the both halves, merge them. Merge the two sorted halves. Okay. So now I'm sure that your mind is begging this question, like you're talking about merge and all this, but how does merge work? So it's time to tackle this. So I have a interesting example here for you. Um, so I have two uh, two arrays here. I'm calling the left one as the left part and the right one as the right part. Okay. I know that they are of different sizes. They are not equal. They are of different sizes and it doesn't matter. You'll see why. But right now, what we want to see is how the merge algorithm works. If you understand how merge works, you'll understand how merge sort works. Okay. So let's explore how we are doing merge. So you understand this diagram, right? We have two arrays and both are sorted. You have to notice that the left array is sorted as well as the right array is sorted. So left array, you have how many? You have 6 elements. On the right side, you have 4 elements. So these both are separate arrays, and now it's time for us to merge both of them. So how do you merge them? So the algorithm is like this. Okay, before we move on to the solution, does anybody of you have any idea, like can you are you getting some sort of intuition or some idea of how this works? You can type it in the chat box. I would love to know. I'm sure like maybe one or two of you have like already figured this out or may have some idea of how this works. So you can type it in the chat, guys, or you can even unmute yourself. Yeah, Rishwit, you're I think you're going in the right direction. Make pointers and compare them. That's correct. So I think Rishwat has the right idea about this. Anybody else? Okay, great. So Rishwat has seen this before, but still, that's great. Uh, you're going in the right direction. All right, let's proceed. We'll understand how this goes. Okay, so now you have the left and right part, right? So now what is important is, uh, obviously you'll need to compare elements in the left part and the right part. Now how you compare them is the question. So firstly, we start with the leftmost element of the first array and the leftmost element of the second array. Okay, let me repeat that statement. We'll start with the first element in the left part, first element in the right part. Okay, and we'll compare both of them. Since we want to arrange them in ascending order, which element do you think should come here? Like what you see on the screen, this the array below is the final answer. Among the first element on the left part and first element in the right part, which one should do you think should come in the first place here? Right, Satvik. So one should come, right, because we are arranging it in ascending order, and the smallest elements come to the left and the biggest elements go to the right. So it makes sense that we choose one here. So let's choose one. So now we have chosen one. It is inside the answer, and now we don't have to deal with it. So I'll just cross it out in the left part. Now we move the pointer. We move the arrow to the next element in that array from which we chose the last winner. Okay, I'll call these elements which we are choosing as winners, and the elements which we are comparing as competitors. Okay, so now let's go to the second position. 3 and 4, 3 from the left part, 4 from the right part are competing. Who will be the winner? Who should be the winner? Exactly, 3 should be the winner. Let's make 3 the winner. Okay, we cross out 3. And now compare 4 and 5. Who wins? Who wins among 4 and 5? 4 wins, right? So now, since we chose 4, we move the pointer in the right array by one cell ahead, one element ahead. Okay, so uh, we cross out 4. Now we compare 5 and 5. These both elements are equal. So who do you think should win? Does it matter which one I choose? Does it matter like if I choose the right 5 or the left 5? Anything is fine, right? Exactly. It doesn't matter. So let's go with the left 5. Because it came first, let's just go with the left 5. I took the left 5, crossed it out. Now we are comparing 7 and 5. Who wins? 5 wins. And similarly, we keep doing this process. Now we have 7 and 9. 7 is smaller, so 7 wins. Now we have 10 and 9. 9 wins because 9 is smaller. We have 10 and 9 again because 9 repeated 2 twice. Uh, Again 9 wins. So uh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So 9 wins, and now we have this situation. The right part has like you used up all the elements of the right part. All the elements in the right part are now inside the answer in the resultant array, and the right part is empty now. There are no more elements, and but the left part is still having some elements left. So what do we do? What do you think we should do? We have some elements left in the left part. So because it was larger, it was obvious that some elements would be left out. But whatever elements are left out, what should we do with them? Exactly. So we just add that part. We just append it to the array. Whatever elements are left, we directly add them. We don't have to compare them with anything. So now we have this situation. Now we have all the elements in the answer, and every element is sorted now. All the elements are sorted. So this is how merge works. Let me run through that animation again. So this is the initial condition. We are just comparing the first elements of both the arrays. 1, 3, 4, 5, 5, 7, 9, 9, and finally 10 and 11 are left out. So we simply add them. And this is the final array. So this is the merge algorithm. And it's really that simple. So can I get a confirmation of how many, like if you understood it or not? Just say yes if you understood it. Okay, Satvik got it. Who else got it? Rishwit got it. So that is the concept of merging. And let's look at how the sorting part happens. So now you know how to merge two sorted parts. Like if I go back to this slide, I have two sorted arrays. I know how to merge them, but how do I get those sorted arrays in the first place? How where should I start to sort such that I have two sorted arrays? Now the hint for this question is, look at this. Look at this diagram. Uh, Look at level 4. Do you see level 4? The level where all the elements are individuals. They're individually grouped. So all of them are sorted in their own groups, right? So 6 is sorted by itself, 5 is sorted, 12 is sorted, 10 is sorted, 9 is sorted, and 1 is sorted. So all these elements are individually sorted. So we can take each of these as sorted arrays. And now we have sorted arrays. Now we also have the merge algorithm. We simply have to apply the merge algorithm on these sorted arrays. So when you merge 5 and 12, you get 5 comma 12. When you merge 9 comma 1, you get 1 comma 9. And this will be the new sorted array. Now you can merge 6, 5 and 12. You get 5, 6, 12. You can merge 10, 1 and 9. You get 1, 9, 10. And if you merge these both, you get our final answer. So that is how merge sort works. Was that part clear, guys? Like, you must have been having this doubt, like where do we start sorting? Where do we get the sorted arrays from? The answer is, when we have individual elements, those elements are already sorted. So we start merging from there. When we start merging from there, you get you consequently get bigger and bigger sorted arrays. Finally, you get the original answer. Yeah. So this is how it works, right? This is another example. So one detail that I did not mention is, when you actually implement merge sort, you don't actually take two separate arrays. Okay. uh, like if you might have imagined it like that, but what we do is, we have a single array, but we have two partitions inside that array. Okay, we take those two partitions as separate arrays. Instead of having two separate arrays, we have one array, one single array, but we have partitions in it. So this is actually another example. So we have how many do we have? We have 8 elements, and all of them belong to the same array, but they are partitioned into 8 separate groups. So 24 is a group, 4 is a group, 15 is a group, and so on. Now it's time to merge them. We take two groups at a time and merge them. So 24 and 4 get merged, 15, 3, 12, 1, 0, 11, and so on. So now when you merge two elements, you get one group. And so in the first level, you have 8 groups. In the second level, you have only 4 groups, because you merge them, right? You merge two of them, and you merge pairs of them and you got 4 groups now. When you merge 4 groups, you get 2 groups. And finally, when you merge 2 groups, you get your original answer. I mean, your final answer. So this is how merge sort works. Now it's time to actually implement this. Let me go to Visual Studio Code. I think I should increase the size. Okay, is the size okay now? Like, can you see the, let me type something. Can you read the code? Is it visible enough? All right, great. Okay, okay, Satvik. Thanks for that. So now we'll implement mod sort. So we'll take it simply. We'll not put any complex, we'll not be solving any CP problem. We'll just take an array as input from the user and we'll sort it and display it. Okay. The main focus is right now implementing merge sort. So I'll open up main and I'll create an array of integers. Okay, first let's take the number of integers that the user wants. So let's ask the user how many elements are there. So let's take the input. There are n elements. So let's make an array of n elements. Now let's ask the user to enter the elements. Okay. Now let's use a for loop to get the input. There are n elements, right? So let's take them like this. Okay. All right. And now we have the original array. So let's print it out once. We'll say that unsorted array. Now let's just print it out. So you can use this syntax. You don't have to write the for loop completely actually. So this is another syntax. It's called the for each syntax, for each. So you can int x colon arr. So what this will do is x will loop through each value of the array and it will take that value. So I can simply say x and let's have a comma after each element. Okay. So what happens right now is, yeah, each element of the array gets printed. This is just another way of printing elements from an array. You can use the normal for loop, or this syntax is a little more convenient. That's all. Now let's think that there's a function called merge sort. We'll implement it now. Merge sort this array. Okay. Now merge sort needs boundaries. Okay. Why we need boundaries will become clear now in a few minutes. But we need to sort the entire array, right? So the boundaries will be from 0 to what will be the right boundary? Can somebody mention in the chat? 0 to what? N minus 1. That's correct. So array starts from 0 and the other boundary is n minus 1. So after merge sort finishes, our array will be now be sorted. So what we do now is print it. So okay, let's put a handle here. And now sorted array will be this. Okay, there's a small mistake. I need to use double quotes here. I'm separating the numbers with a comma and a space. So I have to fit 2 characters. So I have to use double quotes. Okay. Finally, another ended. And return 0. Okay. So this is our main function. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah. The main function looks a little too big, but it's honestly very simple. I can remove these unnecessary braces. These braces are not required. Since there's only a single line inside each for loop, we don't need those braces. So yeah, this is the main function. Is the main function clear to you guys? We'll implement the merge sort function now. Is the main function clear? Say yes or no, guys. Is the code clear so far? Okay, cool. Now it's time to implement the merge sort function. So void merge sort. So merge sort takes in an array. It takes in an array and the left boundary and the right boundary, right? And it's supposed to return to me the sorted array, but I won't be returning anything because arrays are what do you call, they are pointers. So if I change an array, it will also be changed in the original place. So in the calling function, the array will also be modified. Arrays don't get copied by value, uh, they get copied by reference. So I don't have to return anything. Now, what is the first step in divide and conquer? Do you remember? Do you remember seeing the slide? What is the first thing that we have to do? Uh, do you remember the divide and conquer template? What was the first thing we did in that function? Check size of the array, right? Why are we doing it? Why are we checking the size of the array? Exactly. So Rishwat says we should check the size of the array because it is the base case. What we mean by base case, I'll tell you. So let's forget about checking that condition. Let's directly move on with merge sort. Okay. So what is the first step in merge sort? Like, forget the small condition. Let's directly go with it. So first thing is you need to find the middle. How do you find the middle? Left plus right by 2. Okay, this is clear, right? You find left plus right by 2, and what do you do next? You perform merge sort on the left side and on the right side. So pass the same, left, right. Sorry, I'm sorry. Left comma mid will be the left part. Merge sort mid plus 1 comma right will be the right part. Okay. We are splitting the array into 2 parts. Left will be from the original left to the middle, and from middle to the right will be the right part. After you do this, what do you have to do now? Merge. We haven't written merge yet. We will write merge. So how do I merge will take uh, 5 things. First thing is the array. And the next four things are the boundaries of the two parts. So the first part's boundaries are left, mid, and the second part's boundaries are mid plus 1 comma right. Okay, don't get confused, guys. So what I'm saying here is we are sorting the left part, we are sorting the right part. Okay, now we need to merge them both. Since both of them are in the same array, I'm just passing that array as the argument. They are not separate arrays. And since but there are two different partitions in the same array, so I need to mark the boundaries of those partitions. So the left part is from left to mid, right part is from mid plus 1 to right. Okay, so yeah, this is it, right? We divided the problem into two parts, solved it, and we combined them. Now let's write the merge function. Void merge. Merge takes in the array, takes in the left one, right one, left two, right two. Okay, this is what I'm calling my parameters. Left one and right one are the boundaries of the left part, left two and right two are the boundaries of the second part. Okay, uh, it's probably a good idea for me to use the presentation as a reference. Let's go to this diagram. Yeah, this part. Okay, I'll be switching from the code and this diagram frequently, so you have an idea of what we are doing. So the first thing is we need two pointers. Okay, so let's make those pointers. First, second. Okay, first and second are my two pointers. Okay, first pointer is the first arrow, second pointer is the second arrow. Okay, both of them initially start at, where do both of them start at? First one starts at the left boundary of the first part, second one starts at the left boundary of the second part. Okay, so that's what I'll say. So first is equal to left one, second is equal to, what should the value of second be? Can somebody tell me in the chat? What should the value of second be? Right, exactly. Good, Satvik. So second should be left 2. Okay. Now we have these both arrows now, left and right. I mean, first and second. And let's start merging. Now there is some one thing that you have to observe. So, okay, let me just okay, right. So now we have to create this answer array, the resultant array. Okay, so what will be the size of this resultant array? Okay, first let's get the sizes of the first two. Size 1. How do you get the size 1? How do you get the size of the left part? Right 1 minus left 1 plus 1. This will give me the size of the left part. I'm adding plus 1 because if I just subtract right minus left, I'll have one element less. I want to also include the first element, right? So I'll just add 1. Similarly, the size of the second part will be right 2 minus left 2 plus 1. Okay, and now the resultant array, the answer array, its size will be what? Size 1 plus size 2, right? Because I'm combining these both parts, so the answer array will have both of these elements, I mean elements from both of them. So I have to combine, its size has to be the sum of both. So size 1 plus size 2. Now it's time to merge. Now I'll write this piece of code. I'll explain it in just a minute. Okay, I wrote a while loop, guys, and the while loop's condition is while first is less than or equal to write 1 and second is less than or equal to write 2. Why did I write this? So let's go here to this place. Okay, to this place, to this slide. In this situation, what happened is all the elements in the right part are finished. Like second has crossed the right part. The second pointer has completed and crossed the right part, but the first pointer is still at the at the element 10. It's still inside. It didn't complete yet, the first pointer. So we will compare elements only until both the pointers are still within their groups. Okay, so once either one of the group finishes, what do we do? Like for example, in this slide, the right part finished. So now we don't compare elements with each other because there are no elements to be compared. So what do? We simply copy the remaining elements and put it in the array directly. So the criteria for comparison is when both of the pointers are still within their respective arrays, we compare them. But if even one of the pointer finishes, we will take the remaining elements and put it in the array. Okay, so did you get this part, what I just explained? That is what this while loop is here for. Okay, great. So I'm saying while first pointer is still within the partition and the second pointer is still within the partition, we can start comparing here. So if array of first is less than array of second, so uh, if the left one is smaller than the right one, then put the left one. So what do? ARR, oh sorry, answer of, okay, we need another pointer. You see this pink color arrow, right? We need another pointer for that. So where does it initially start? It starts at 0 and keeps moving until the end of the array. So let's call it current. Int current is 0. So current starts at 0. Okay. So this pink arrow is the current pointer. When I say pointer, guys, don't get confused. I'm not talking about the C language, C pointers or C++ pointers. When I say pointer, I just mean an arrow, something to keep track of. Okay, I don't mean the variables which store addresses. I'm not talking about those pointers. I'm just talking about these arrows. I don't have a better word for them. I'm just calling them pointers. You can call them arrows or whatever. Okay, you can call them markers if you want. So now, if the first element is less than the second element, put the first element in the answer. Answer of current will be ARR of first. Else if ARR of, okay, wait, we forgot one thing. Yeah, I am putting braces here. It'll be clear why in just a second. So once you take the first element, like, okay, if the first guy won, what do you do now? Like, let's go to this example. Here we are comparing 7 and 9. 7, 1. What do we do now? We move the 7 left pointer one place ahead, right? So whoever wins, we move that pointer one place ahead. So here, since first wins, we'll move that pointer one place ahead. First plus plus. Okay. Else, what do? Answer of current. I mean, if the first guy didn't win, that means the second guy won, right? So we'll write that ARR of second. and increment the second plus plus. Okay, we can do less than or equal to. Why less than or equal to? Consider this case. Yeah, when we compare 5 and 5, 5 and 5 are equal, but we are taking the left one. So for that case, we have to put less than or equal to symbol here. Like it doesn't matter actually, but we put it like this. Okay, so this is the first part of merging. So are we done? Are we done? Like, is merge finished? There is still one more step. Uh, when when this loop completes, we still have some remaining elements. We may have or may not have, but we may have some remaining elements in the first array, or there may be some remaining elements in the second array. Okay, so what do we do? While first is less than or equal to right one, answer of current. Okay, there is something important I forgot, guys. Each time something wins, we have to increment current. Like, you see, at each comparison, the pink pointer is moving one step ahead. Okay, so whoever wins, pink pointer has to move one cell ahead. So current plus plus has to be there. Okay, yeah, we forgot that one point. Okay, so now if there are remaining elements in the first array, first will still be less than or equal to right. Let's go to this case. See here, right part finished. So if right part finished, this while loop will end. The first while loop will end. It will come out, and there are still some elements in the left part. So what do? We'll write this condition. While the first pointer is still less than or equal to right one, simply append those elements to the answer. Current plus plus, first plus plus. Okay. Maybe first guy of the first group did not finish. Maybe the second one finished. In that case, while second less than or equal to right 2, ans of current is equal to ARR of second, current plus plus, second plus plus. Okay. Now we are done. Now merge is completed. Uh, is merge clear, guys? Like, did you understand most of it? Did you understand everything in it? Merge. Is merge clear, guys? Okay. I see only Rishwit and Satvik being active. Are the others also understanding? Manish, Ravan, Ritika, Mahesh, Komal. Okay, great. One thing that you might be confused about is this part is fine, but we are writing these four while loops one after the other. So see, the thing is, when will this loop come out? Like, when will this loop end? This first loop, either first exceeds right one or second exceeds right two. Okay, or maybe both will happen. But so wherever the elements are left, only that while loop will execute. Like, if there are remaining elements in the first group, then this while loop will execute. This will not execute because second will be greater than right 2. If there are on the other case, if there are remaining elements in the second group, then this will not execute because first will be greater than right one, and this while loop will not execute. Only this one will execute. Okay, so that is one small confusion that you might have. I had this initially when I learned merge sort. So yeah, that is something I wanted to mention. Okay, so this is merge, guys. We completed the key part of merge sort, and even merge sort is completed, or we think that it is. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's run this. I think it's done. Let's run this. How many elements are there? Okay, there's a mistake. These elements can't stand grammar mistakes. Okay, how many elements are there? Let's take, let's sort 6 elements. Enter the elements. I'll enter some random elements. 4, 77, 91, 34, -1, 0. Okay, so it printed out the unsorted array properly. 4, 77, 91, 34, -1 and 0. But the program exited with a segmentation fault, code dumped. Now, how many of you know what this error means? Does anybody of you know what segmentation fault, core dumped means? Right, Rishvik? Amazing. So, um, when a program, when any program doesn't have to be a C program or a C++ program, it can be any program. Every program uses some amount of memory, right? Every program has some memory allocated to it, and that memory is in the form of stack memory. Okay, uh, uh, and some of it is in the form of heap memory. But either case, programs are limited to the amount of memory that they have. Like, you cannot have infinite memory, right? Computer memory is limited, and you cannot have how much ever you want. So if your program consumes more memory than it is allowed, then you will get this error called segmentation fault. This will also happen if you use memory which is not allocated to you. For example, uh, let's let me write a small program for you here itself. This is a new file. Uh, Let me save it as error.cpp. Okay, I'll just write a small program just to learn about what segmentation fault means. Okay, now let's take an array, ARR, and let the array be of size 5. Okay, it has 5 elements, and I'll write a for loop, and int I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. I just want to print whatever is there in this array. Okay, array of I. Okay, uh, let's assign some elements to this array. 1, 3. Okay, let's start with, let's go from 9. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, these are the elements of my array, and I just want to print them out. Okay, so let's see what happens. I am printing indexes starting from 0 to index number 5, but we don't have index number 5 in this. Our indexes end at 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no index 5. Let's see what happens. It printed out some garbage here. You see this? I have 98765. That is correct, but then it printed some garbage. 767. Uh, it turns out that this time it tolerated when we exceeded the limit, but let's try something more. Like instead of just trying until 5, let's go until 50. Let's see what happens. We have a few more garbage. Let's try 5,000 this time. Yeah, do you see this? All this garbage. I'm not sure if you can see it completely. It printed out some numbers. Lot of it is garbage. Only the first 5 numbers are the numbers that I gave. All the remaining is some garbage. Like whatever was in the memory at that place, it printed it out. Some of it is zeros and all. But at some point, my program's memory ended. The amount of memory that my program had, and I got a segmentation fault because I was accessing memory which my program did not have. So the operating system stops my program and it says segmentation fault. So this is what segmentation fault means. You are accessing memory which you don't have. Similarly, here in our program, original merge sort program, let's run through this program once. So okay, all this part is fine. I gave it the input and all, and now we call merge sort. Okay, so now we go here. Okay, I gave it left, right. I gave it the array. It's divided into 2 parts. Now it's calling merge sort again. So again we go here. It divides it into 2 parts, and it calls merge sort again. It goes here, divides, calls again, goes here, divides, and this happens infinitely many times. There's no condition which checks if the problem is small or not. Like it's doing this infinitely, and that takes up stack space. Every function call that you make, it consumes some memory, because that function's data has to be saved somewhere, right? The variables and all. So it consumes stack space, and because we are doing this so many times, it doesn't take very long to fill up the space that we have. So our memory becomes full very quickly. And that is the reason when our memory became full and now you made another function call, this time there is no memory for you. So the operating system is like, okay bro, that's enough, you got to stop now. So you get a segmentation fault and your program stops. So how do we fix this? Instead of doing this infinitely, we have to stop the recursion when the array size is 1. So we need to check that here. If right minus left uh, is greater than, I mean, if it's less than or equal to 1, don't do anything. Simply return. A return statement works with void, but it shouldn't specify any value. Okay, don't say return 0 or return 1. Just say return, that's all. If right minus left is less than or equal to 1, okay, it's right minus left plus 1 actually. This will give you the actual size. So if right minus left plus 1 is less than or equal to 1, like if the array size is less than or equal to 1, then don't do anything, stop the recursion. And this will solve our problem. Let's try this now. 6 elements, 7 8 7 8 1 0 4 1. Okay, did I miss something? We have the segmentation fault thing again. Why is this happening? Just a second, guys. I'm looking at it. I am trying to figure out where the error is. Okay, we forgot one important step actually. So there's something very important that we forgot. In the merge algorithm, in the merge function, we got our answer, like it'll merge everything and that's fine. But what we need is to change array. Okay, we have the answer in ANS, that is fine, but we need to change array. So finally, in the last step, what we need to do is copy the answer into array. We forgot that one step. So we'll do that now. For int I is equal to 0, I less than size 1 plus size 2. Just copying the answer into array. ARR of left 1 plus I is equal to ans of I. Okay, this is nothing complicated, guys. I'm just copying whatever is there in answer into array. I answer starts from 0, but array starts from left 1. Okay, so that's the reason I put left 1 plus I. So when I is 0, you have array of left 1 is equal to ans of 0. And when it is 2, you have left 1 plus 1 is equal to ans of 1, and so on. Okay. Okay, but I still don't know why we have this error. We have 6, 1, 2, 5, 0, 1. Okay. Does anybody of you left minus right? No, Rishit, left minus right would be wrong, right? Because right will be greater than left. If you do left minus right, that means your answer will become negative here. Like I want the size of the array here. Right will always be greater. If you do left minus right, you'll get a negative answer. Okay, let's change this condition. Let's say if left less than right, even this works. Yeah. So as long as um, the left boundary is less than or equal to the right boundary, what I mean is, this is the dividing part. Yeah, here. So divide until the left part and the right part, I mean the left boundary and the right boundary are either the right is greater than left or they both will be equal. Left boundary cannot exceed the right boundary, right? So that should not happen. This is another way of saying stop at one, the size 1. Let's try this once. 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1. Where are we going wrong? The last two are not sorting. Which last two? Rishit, I'm not sure I understand. Can you unmute yourself and tell me?
In output, I think the last two elements are not sorted. Then,
It's not printing the output actually. It's throwing an error.
oh, okay.
Yeah. 1 second, let me check. left, right. Okay, fine. Left plus right by 2. All right. Plus 1 comma right. Okay. Merge sort, merge sort. Okay. Left comma mid plus 1 comma right. Okay, fine. Okay, right 1, left 2, right 2, left 2. Okay, right 1 minus left 1 plus 1, right 2 minus left 2 plus 1. Okay, size 1 plus size 2. This is correct. Current starts here. Fast. Okay. 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 Hmm. Okay, let's see if merge sort is completing. If it completes, I should get a high here. Let's just take 4 elements. Okay, it's not completing. Let's move this somewhere else.
Maybe we are not returning the base case element.
There's no base case actually. So what happens is,
Last single element.
yeah, when you go to see, when there is a single element, left and right will be equal, right? So it won't even call merge sort. See, when will merge sort be called inside? When left is less than right. Okay, but if left is equal to right, it won't be called at all. They'll directly go to merge. So okay, I think this is the problem. Oh man, do you see the problem, guys? Do you see the problem? I'm giving you a hint. What is operator precedence of addition division? Like when I do left plus right by 2 like this, what
Yes.
right by 2 will be executed first and then it will be added to left. So I need to put brackets here. I hope this is the error. Okay, let's try now. Okay, let me clear my console. Okay, let's take 4 elements. 8, 4, 1, 9. Oh god. So yeah, that was the error, guys. I did not put parentheses here. So yeah, merge sort is working. So you see this 1, 4, 8, 9. This is the sorted. Let's try it again. Let's take 10 elements. 7, 8, 1, whatever. Doesn't matter. Negative 23 and 11. So yeah, do you see the answer? It's working now. 23, 0, 1, so on. So this is how merge sort works, guys. So the important lesson that you need to learn today is operator precedence is important. Always put brackets when you are doing addition and division in the same line. And yeah, this is how merge sort works. Did you understand how the base case is happening here? Base case is when there is a single element. Okay, what I'll do for you is I'll remove this if condition and replace it with the original one. Okay, I'll say if right minus left plus 1 is less than or equal to 1, stop. That is return. If this is not the case, it will go to the code. Okay, so this is the original condition. Let's try this now. 6 elements, 7 6 5 4 3 2. Yeah, it still works. 2 3 4 5 6 7. How you write the condition is up to you. Like this writing it this way is very clear. Writing it left less than right is also clear, but whatever makes sense to you is fine. So I guess, guys, this is what we learned today, and the meet has been a little long, but I hope that you enjoyed the session. So yeah, this is what I had for you guys today. Thank you for joining us this evening, and see you in the next session. Thank you, guys. Bye.